Valley Forge, fire in the frost. The winter of 1777 didn't just bite, it chewed. Jonathan Hale stepped out of the hut at Valley Forge and felt the cold settle into his bones like it meant to stay. Smoke drifted from crooked chimneys. Men moved slow, wrapped in blankets that should have been on beds, not on shivering soldiers fighting for a country that barely existed. Elias Turner, his closest friend in this frozen misery, stomped up beside him. "Breakfast," Elias muttered. "If that gray water in the pot counts." Jonathan held his Bible close. Better than nothing. Barely. They joined the line for stew that didn't deserve the name. A man ahead of them stood barefoot, rags tied around his feet. Jonathan wondered how long flesh lasted before it turned black and dead. Then came the murmur. Washington's riding the lines. The general cut through the camp on horseback, coats snapping in the wind, eyes scanning everything. Every hole in the huts, every trembling soldier. When he stopped near Jonathan's line, the men stood taller automatically, even those who could barely stand at all. "I won't deceive you," Washington said. "We suffer, but the cause we serve is greater than this winter. Hold fast. History will remember what you endure here." Elias leaned over. "Hope history remembers how bad we smell." Jonathan elbowed him, but he couldn't help smiling. Nights were worse. Wind clawed through every crack. The coughing never stopped. Jonathan read scripture by candlelight, the flame shaking like it shared their fear. Elias groaned on his pallet. "Read something with a happy ending." Jonathan whispered Romans. "Tribulation brings patience. Patience brings experience. Experience brings hope. Hope better bring boots," Elias grunted. But then came von Steuben, the Prussian firestorm of discipline. He drilled them until their arms burned and their movements sharpened. Day after day, the men who'd stumbled into Valley Forge as exhausted farmers slowly became something else, an army. Jonathan felt the change. The cold still hurt. The hunger still gnawed. But there was steel in the camp now. One afternoon, sent to gather wood, he saw Washington kneeling alone among the trees. No officers, no audience, just a man pleading quietly with God for strength. Jonathan didn't speak. He just watched, letting the moment settle deep inside him. When spring finally broke the grip of winter, the army didn't crawl out of Valley Forge. They marched. Straight lines. Steady steps. Muskets loading and firing like one mind instead of 12,000 starving bodies. Washington rode before them. "You've endured the impossible," he said. "Remember this winter. Let others remember the victory." Jonathan looked at the men beside him, scarred, hardened, alive. No king on earth could command loyalty like that. No empire could kill a spirit forged in a winter like this. They marched forward, leaving behind a valley that had nearly broken them, and instead made them undefeatable. Historical note: this shorter version is still rooted in the real Valley Forge encampment, December 1777 to June 1778. Conditions were brutal. Disease, hunger, and exposure took more lives than battle. Washington did inspect the camp often and fought Congress for supplies. Baron von Steuben trained the troops and completely transformed the Continental Army. Jonathan and Elias are fictional stand-ins for real soldiers. Washington praying in the woods is a dramatized moment inspired by later accounts whose accuracy historians debate. The suffering, the transformation, and the stakes, those are historical fact.